Did you know that there is an unreleased car hidden in the game files? If your answer is no, then you definitely need to watch this video because it's full of such unknown and forgotten details. Hello everyone, welcome back on the Best of the Road channel in the world. Because even if you think that sentence is a lie, this video will change your mind. It doesn't matter if you are a new or experienced player, because we will start from the most basic topics to make sure that our knowledge about the game is on the same level. With each segment we will move to less known topics which I bet you didn't know. So without further ado, let's get started. Chapter 1. The tip of the iceberg. Dogbyte Dudes and release date. Off the Road was released on 24th of July 2018 by Hungarian game studio dogbytegames. They are based in Debrecen, right in this building. The Dogbyte Dudes collectibles are actually representing each of the developers. Farlands. Probably all of you encountered this. You are trying to escape the map and then you suddenly encounter this. A remote island suddenly appearing in front of you. And I'm sure at least once you tried to get on it. Actually, you can't. Even if you manage to get there, you'll see that this is just a flat image. Also, while recording this, I realized that it was deleted in some update, and we never even noticed this until now. Shrek's toilet. There is a cool Easter egg on the volcano map. Right behind the barn located next to the city you can find a familiar looking wooden toilet. AI names. The names from the AI players menu aren't random. All of them are direct references to either people from the Discord server or developers. Off the Road Discord server. As you probably know from the previous segment, most of social features of Off the Road are happening on the official Discord server. You can join our community by clicking the link in the description. In my opinion, joining that server was one of the best decisions in my life. Off the Road GIFs. Some of you probably know that there are Off the Road related GIFs on Tenor. However, not many of you know that most of these GIFs were added by me. There is still not many of them, so if you have any interesting ideas, I highly encourage you to upload your own GIFs there so we can have a bigger choice of these in the future. Chapter 2. The Surface. Sky Dome. In most video games, sky is usually either a textured sphere or a box that moves with the player so you can never escape it. In Off the Road, however, sky is a huge dome centered exactly at the center of the map with a ceiling at around 1500 meters. If you somehow manage to get higher than the height limit of 300 meters, you can actually escape it. Indestructible fence. In the earlier versions of the game, all of these white fences could be moved. All except one. This exact fence on the volcano map was for some reason unbreakable. This was fixed somewhere in 2021 when the new fence physics were introduced. Land yacht. There is a bug that lets you drive the yacht on the land. There are a few recordings of this behavior. I'll link all of them down in the description. Garage in the sky. This was quite a popular topic around 2020. Many players started experiencing bugs that caused the camera to be positioned incorrectly after going into the garage, so you can see how the building looks from the outside and where it is located. Twin Islands. On the islands map there are two identical tiny islands. Original player model. Before adding the character customization, this is how the original player model looked like. Additionally, it didn't have any animations like it has nowadays. The soundtrack. Off the Road has a very iconic soundtrack. Initially, I thought that it was composed specifically for the game, but the truth is that it was purchased by the developers from some music licensing website. In terms of the names of the songs, you can listen to the playlist I made containing all tracks I could find. Link in the description. The face in the clouds. If you ever paid closer attention to the clouds, you probably noticed this for yourself. There is one really specific cloud in which many people are seeing either a face of a bearded man, a philosopher, sometimes even with a hand on his chin, or Kratos from the game God of War. Old volcano. If you've been playing Off the Road for a long time, you'll probably remember the old sky on the volcano map. It was always dark. It was the only map with a sky different from other maps. It had its special vibe, some people liked it, some people didn't. What was your opinion about it? Tell me in the comments. Chapter 3 Below the Surface. Secret updates. There were many secret updates that weren't mentioned in the changelogs. Apart from the indestructible fence I told you earlier, one of such changes were the retexture of the back of the Distinger seats around 2019. There were a few more changes, but they were so tiny that they aren't worth mentioning. If you remember anything else that was secretly changed, be sure to tell us in the comments. Changed vehicle names. Some vehicles had their names changed due to different reasons. Zeg was later renamed to Zed because it sounded like a swear word in some language. Chalky was renamed to Schoolmaster for unknown reasons. Chalky was cooler in my opinion. Also, we can count Iron Maiden as being renamed from Wellara because it was basically the same car in Red Line Rush, another game by dogbytegames. E-dating in Off the Road. This is a huge problem. There are lots of people looking for love doing cosplays and dramas in multiplayer rooms. This is just getting out of hand. And also, what's the point of looking for girls in a game played mostly by 10-year-old boys? Like bro, just go outside. Pre-map update The Shore. Map was added in late 2019. Before that, maps that were added earlier used to look different. The biggest difference was on the shore. Before map was added, there was a small pond in this location. First ever multiplayer drag race. Before global multiplayer was released for everyone, there was a closed beta test that only few people including me had access to. At this time we organized the very first drag race. This was a historical moment because people always dreamed about doing drag races before multiplayer was released. Assets from Off-Road Legends 2. Many of the road assets are actually recycled from dogbytegames' previous games, mainly Off-Road Legends 2. The cars like Jazzy, Carry, Taurus, Educator, Ranger and Buggy were copied exactly from Off-Road Legends 2 without any changes. Other like Hellfire and Karma received a moderate redesign. Chapter 4 Deep Depths. Cut content. There's a lot of features that did not end up in the game. Even the first ever photo sent on the Off the Road Discord server was a live redesign for Icarus that was never added. Here is an initial live redesign for Spitfire. When the yacht was in development, the main point of it was to be customizable. This is the only photo evidence we ever got. You can see a few furniture models that were meant to be placeable by the players inside of the yacht. Another incredible, interesting and creative feature was a VTOL plane. And now, the best idea that was never added is never released stunt arena. This was the best feature that ended up being scrapped. Initial plan for a Frozen Valley was to include one giant stadium filled with Hot Wheels-like stunt track and a rocket in the center, which ended being the only feature that actually was added to the game. Sven was here. If you reach the top of the huge antenna on the islands, you can see a blurry gravity saying Sven was here. This is obviously an Easter egg left by David Svantner, who is a map designer at dogbytegames. Mysterious map on Vulcan's roof. If you equip any fluorescent paint job for Vulcan, you can see a map on the roof. So far, nobody managed to find what this map is. Ad stealing incidents. There were numerous incidents of other games using one of OTR trailers as their advertisement. It only proves that OTR is the best off-road mobile game in terms of graphics and overall art style. Icarus nerf. A popular misconception is that Icarus is the fastest vehicle in the game. Well, that used to be true, but not anymore. Around 2020, Icarus received a huge top speed nerf. Its Vmax was decreased from 180 km/h to only 140. With the addition of Typhoon that can go 4 km faster, it makes Icarus the second fastest vehicle. Min A5. In one of the latest updates, two libraries were added promoting mysterious Min A5. After searching this on Google, I found out that it's some vitamin company. However, I still didn't see any reason why it was added to OTR. When I finally got in contact with the developers, they said that it was a startup of one of the devs. It makes sense now. Chapter 5 The Bottom. 8-bit integer limit bug. This is so interesting and incredible that it deserves its own video, but I'll try to summarize most important facts here. So, there was a bug that if executed correctly would launch your car billions of meters away in seconds, sometimes reaching even the 8-bit integer limit before your game crashed. It was fixed already, there were multiple ways to execute this bug and I will try to do an entire video about it, so be sure to subscribe. Early Demo Derby. For a long time in the AI players menu there were a few coming soon features, with one of those being Demo Derby. One day we finally received the first sneak peek of this game mode. It looked like this. You can see many differences from the Demo Derby we have now, the main being profile picture of your opponents, burnout looking text, and detachable fenders. Icarus and Voltage steering wheels. Initially, the interiors of Icarus and Voltage were meant to look like this. However, I suggested swapping the steering wheels because in my opinion a full steering wheel looks more stock, thus suits Icarus better, and a more futuristic looking steering wheel would be better for Voltage. Topa agreed and swapped the steering wheels, so this is how it is now. The painting in the house. If you ever built a house in OTR, you probably recognize this image. It's a wall painting that appears in some houses. I managed to find the original source of this image dating back to 2012. Ranger cover car. In some promotional materials you can see Ranger instead of Maximus as the cover car. The AI Rain. In the beta version of Frozen Lake, the developers forgot to set spawn points for AI cars, so when you summoned them they would spawn at the default location, which is the center of the map but 100 meters above the ground. Blue logo. There is an alternative logo design for the Off the Road title. You can even find it on the official Facebook page. First video and June 2018 beta. While doing research for this video, I wanted to find the oldest fan-made video about OTR. I tried looking for videos that were released close after the game's release date, but I was shocked to discover that there were 2 videos uploaded a month before the release. They were recorded on some private beta test version of the game, and some of the features are different from the final version. I'll link those videos in the description so you can check them out, of course after finishing this video. Secret messages. While we are still in the topic of YouTube videos, I would like to draw your attention to an Easter egg I left in my most popular video. At first glance, these chat messages may look like total nonsense, but they all actually have a meaning. It's a Caesar cipher. In order to read it, you need a number which you have to guess. The number is strongly related to this channel. So far nobody solved this riddle, and if you do, drop the decoded messages in the comments. Chapter 6. The Void. Boat stats. In the early versions of the game, each boat had visible stats before you bought it. I remember this feature because it was very helpful when choosing a boat, but for some reason it was removed and I have no idea when and why. First dogbytegames game. Have you ever wondered what was the very first game developed by dogbytegames? Many people would say Off-Road Legends, some may even say 8-bit Ninja, however there is one game even older than that, but it was never released to the public. This is the only screenshot left from it. It had no name, but developers referred to it as Blocky Tank game. It was in a relatively high stage of development, but the entire project got scrapped because of uncomfortable touch controls. Butterfly on Educator. This was discovered by Eggy, one of the admins on the official Discord server. This is such a tiny and well hidden Easter egg that I didn't think anyone ever noticed it. Hidden Car. Recently, an anonymous member of the community discovered a way to access the game's texture files. In the image file containing all car icons, you can see all cars that are available in the game except one. This off-road version of Porsche 918 was never seen before that. Since we have this image, it means that the model is ready too, so why wasn't it added? This is my theory. It was supposed to be added in the Christmas 2023 update along with the fire truck, but the developers noticed how much the community hates the Inferno at Mercury, so they decided not to add it. But don't worry, even if we won't get it in OTR, we will probably get the road-going version in Project Next, just like it was with Inferno and Mercury. Secret car stats. In one of the usual conversations, Arpad from dogbytegames revealed that all of the cars have realistic specs that are actually simulated by the game. They have their own weight, horsepower, but also torque and even air resistance. Real life plug. If you look closely at Ursus's interior, you may notice this black plug. Actually, it wasn't made by anyone from dogbytegames. It's exactly this picture from Google. You can even see the exact same reflections. This might be the only real-life image in OTR. Alright, we finally reached the absolute bottom of this off-the-road iceberg. If you didn't know at least one of these facts, you are now obliged to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, have a nice day, night or whatever, bye.